The RBI report says that forex and equity markets have corrected and remain volatile at this point, and there are more flashes coming in on that front. They say that a decline in crude prices could provide relief, and there are various other points which are coming on from the RBI. They are saying that ratings change to impact availability and FX borrowing costs. So to get all the perspective on what RBI report is suggesting at the moment, let's straight away go across to the banking editor, George Cherian, to give us the full details. George.
Right, Nisha. So this is a financial stability report that the Reserve Bank of India puts out every 6 months. What we have is the financial stability report for the first half of 2012, and you've got the RBI saying that risks to the banking system have accentuated. So the environment has deteriorated since December 2011, and it's spelled out a number of reasons for that. It's talked about the external environment. It's talked about the domestic environment itself having become challenging, talking about inflation having moderated, but the fact that risks continue to remain. It's talked about the fiscal deficit issue, which has been an issue of a great amount of concern for the environment, and the whole issue about saying that until fiscal deficit reduction is dependent on the government's commitment to this whole issue. It's also talked about the sovereign rating of India, talking about the fact that if the sovereign rating of India deteriorates from here on, essentially suggesting that if we were to be downgraded to junk status, it could have a cliff effect essentially for borrowers, both banks and corporates alike. Borrowing costs will go up significantly, and access to the overseas markets for loans will become that much more difficult. Some of the other points that it's spoken about is the Basel III shift, that when banks do shift to Basel III, you are going to see some amount of disruption, simply because the need to meet capital requirements could mean some amount of deleveraging for Indian banks, and that could in some sense upset the whole current structure. Again, it's talked about the fact that deposit growth has moderated significantly. Actually, deposit growth has declined to its lowest in 10 years, and banks have actually started depending on borrowed funds to meet their lending requirements, and that is a point of it's one issue that the Reserve Bank of India has flagged off. It's also talked about activity in the foreign exchange markets having come off, the equity markets having come off, and the overall environment and sentiment having taken a knock. So essentially, the stability report, it does say that the overall environment continues to remain robust, but challenges have accentuated over the last 6 months.